Rainbow. Liam sauntered. That was the way he walked. A saunter with a swinging right arm. His walk made him seem confident and happy. So did his infectious high-pitched laugh that erupted suddenly when no one was expecting it. But Liam wasn't always happy. As he approached his new college, Liam wasn't entirely sure how he felt. He hoped that this would be the start of something good, but he still couldn't shake off that feeling of trepidation he always had when he had to move from one place to another. Liam's life was complicated. When Grandad died, and then Granny got sick, it was the beginning of all kinds of ups and downs. He smiled to himself as he remembered Peter, the son of his first foster carer, who tried tirelessly to help Liam balance on a bike. The smile was replaced by a frown as he remembered when, for reasons he couldn't understand at the time, Liam was separated from Peter and the rest of his foster family. At the residential unit, arriving back from school every day filled him with fear. Would Billy be there, or would Liam be able to sneak up the stairs and carefully close his bedroom door so Billy wouldn't know he was home? He remembered when the feeling of fear started. One day Billy was waiting for him. If it hadn't hurt so much, it might have been funny. Being hit over the head with a frying pan is the kind of thing that happens in cartoons. Tom or Jerry sees stars, a lump shoots up on their head, and the next minute they're chasing around again, fine as anything. But Liam was not a cartoon character, and Billy was all too real. Liam lay curled up on the floor, whimpering and wishing he could have one of Granny's bear hugs. Eventually Liam managed to haul himself off the floor and onto his bed. He fumbled with his music player and found his favourite song. The music drifted around his throbbing head, and slowly the pain was replaced by a different kind of ache as he remembered his Granny. They had played the song at her funeral. It was one of her favourites too. Now Liam found that hearing it made him feel calmer, but also sad. If only Peter was here. Someone he could talk to. Really talk to. He knew the carers in the residential unit meant well, but they were always busy, and they didn't seem to notice how unkind Billy was to him. How could they not see? When someone asked, "How are you today, Liam?" it was always easier to say, "Fine, thanks." Where would he start if he really told the truth? He hugged his favourite pink cushion and played the song again. And now, at this new turning point in his life, Liam is not swinging his arm and laughing. He stands still outside the college gates and thinks about bullies. Billy was a bully. Plain and simple. Liam knows that bullies are bad. People usually say that bullies are cowards, but what does that mean? Surely Billy was brave, and Liam is the coward. He doesn't stick up for himself. He would never have the courage to taunt someone in the way Billy did. He's too timid. It must be Liam's fault because that's not the only time it had happened. There'd been that girl at school who had punched him and then run off. And there were others too, sniggering and mocking him. He can't understand what is wrong with him, but there must be something. People don't seem to like the way he walks, for one thing. Liam shrugged and started to walk again, this time into college, and headed for his first hairdressing class. But he continued to think, why did other teenagers laugh when he wore a pair of pink shorts? Liam couldn't understand how one colour could be good, or another colour be bad. It just didn't make sense. He was supposed to wear black or grey, apparently. But that would just make him feel even more miserable. Still, at least he'd escaped from Billy by moving out of that residential unit. And now, here he was, about to start on a new course at a new college. Maybe the people here would be more understanding. Liam took a deep breath and pushed open the door of the training salon. Mrs. Townsend was impressed. She stood behind Liam and surveyed his work. After only a few weeks he'd started to get the hang of cutting and styling, and the plastic head of hair under Liam's hands was transformed. "You could start on some real human guinea pigs at this rate, Liam. Well done." Your writing is atrocious as usual, but I've been thinking, if we could get someone to write what you say, I think you would be able to do the exam after all." Liam beamed. He loved the feel of people's hair, and somehow he could see what he wanted it to look like, and his hands did the rest. But when he told his hands what to write in his portfolio, they never obeyed. The writing came out as gobbledygook. Weird that. Why hair but not handwriting? But finally Mrs. Townsend seemed to be taking him seriously. Maybe he could get that qualification, and then, wow, imagine having your own salon. After college that night, Liam couldn't wait to tell his best friend Charlie about his day. Liam sighed with happiness to himself as he thought of Charlie and their life together in their new, supported accommodation. After the frying pan incident, everything had changed, and now home really felt like home. Billy the bully was terrified. Liam was standing over him with a sharp pair of scissors and a determined look on his face. It was a shock when he saw the name of his old enemy on the list, but Liam kept his cool as Mrs. Townsend guided Billy to the chair. He breathed out slowly and pushed his lips out the way he did when he was thinking, with one hand on his hip. Then, without saying a word, he began. Billy was fuming. He'd been happy to have a free haircut, but he never expected this. Someone had once said it was gay to go to a hair salon, so normally he could just cut his own, as short as possible so he could look severe. Now, he had this clumsy, poncy boy fingering his hair and staring at him in the mirror. After the cutting, Liam lined up little pots of dye, remembering Charlie's instructions about the colours and the order they go in. At the back of Billy's head, at the base of his skull, Liam had used a razor to create a small rectangle containing 6 strips, and now he had set about colouring each one with a different pot. Billy had finally relaxed into the soothing feeling of someone touching his head, and from what he could see in the mirror, Liam was doing a pretty good job. Cool haircut, in fact. Not that he was going to admit that, of course. And now this added touch was really going to stand out, show them who's boss. "Excellent work. The tattoo effect is brilliant." Addressing Billy, Mrs. Townsend added, "You are lucky to have such a talented student working on you, young man. Your pals will be envious." Billy puffed up with pride. Mrs. Townsend winked at Liam. Liam was proud too. Proud of his work, and proud of the rainbow flag he had reproduced on Billy's head. It was about time a bit of colour was added to Billy's life.